Good morning, everyone. My name is Susan Bugwa, and today I'm going to be taking you through Microsoft CSP learning process of how you can be able to work remotely. I can see that only a few of us have joined, but we'll go ahead and continue, and the rest will join us as we continue with the session. So today I'm going to go through a few topics that I'm going to touch on. So here we are. We are going to start with the introduction, and then we go through Microsoft 365 licensing. So we are going to be looking at how Microsoft has changed its structure recently, and how licenses have been affected, and which licenses are no longer available, and which ones have been introduced, and which ones are still there right now. And then we are going to go through enabling remote work. After that, we are going to look at Microsoft CSP promotions in 2020. So we are going to look at some of the promotions that have been going on, so that you don't get left behind on all the promotions that Microsoft is rolling out at the moment. After that, we are going to do a small Q&A, and then we are going to look at the CloudQuarks portal, and I'm going to be doing a demonstration so that you can see practically how does it work, what does it contain, and the licenses that are available through there, and what you need to do to start as a cloud partner with Redington. Okay, after that we'll have our conclusions, and then you can be able to write any questions that you want to me through the chat box, and I will through the Q&A chat box, and I will be able to reply to you after the end of the session. All right, so in the beginning, I'm just going to mention okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and mention some of the license structure and how it has changed from what was there before. So as we all know, Microsoft was pushing Office 365 for quite a while. And in the Office 365 structure, we had a category of licenses where we had Office 365 business licenses, we had Office 365 home licenses, and then we had Office 365 enterprise licenses. So quite recently in May, all this has changed, and right now Microsoft are concentrating on the Microsoft 365 licenses, and I'm going to be going through all the categories, and I'm going to be telling you which new license is equivalent to the old license, so that there is no confusion on what has been changed and what you need to do. If previously maybe you are using Office 365 Business Essentials, what do you need to use now? So in the business structure of things, we have now the name has changed to Microsoft 365 Business. And in this category of licenses, we have 4 licenses that were introduced. So we have Microsoft 365 Business Basic, which has replaced the old name, which was Office 365 Business Essentials. And then we have Microsoft 365 Apps for Business. This has replaced the old Office 365 Business license. We proceed to Microsoft 365 Business Standard, which has replaced the Office 365 Business Premium. And then we have Microsoft 365 Business Premium, which is there in turn for the old license, which was Microsoft 365 Business. And as you know, and as I have said in previous trainings, the Microsoft 365 business license contained 3 things, which was Office applications. You had the services inside there, which are the Teams and the SharePoints and all that. And then you had Windows 10. In this case, because it's business license, we had Windows Pro. And then we had enterprise mobility and security with limited features to business. So that is what Microsoft 365 Business Premium has replaced. Okay. So now in the other spectrum of things, we have Microsoft 365 enterprise licenses, and not much has changed. I think just the structure of naming and additional compliance plus security features have been added, but in E3, enterprise licenses, not much has changed. So previously we had Microsoft 365 first line, which was F1. That has been replaced with Microsoft 365 F3. And then we go ahead to Microsoft 365 Enterprise E3, which is same as before. And then we have Enterprise E5. So this is how the structure has changed. And I just want to go through the licenses one by one. And then we'll go to the Microsoft website so that you can be able to see the features, not all the features, because I think that one you'll have to research a little bit more on yourself, but we'll look at the basic features that can enable you to know. If I have a customer who only wants Excel, Word, Outlook, PowerPoint, what can I give them? If I have a customer who only wants emails, which license am I able to give them? Because this is one of the few questions that I get a lot of times, or maybe mislicensing you give a customer the wrong license. So this will enable you to understand and to know which license you're supposed to give which user. Okay, so let's begin with the business licenses. So as I said, in Microsoft, if you want to understand licenses, you need to know their categories. We have the home licenses, which is for your home users or limited number of people. So if an organization has maybe 5 people, less than 10 people, you should give them the home, which is actually not on CSP. But if your organization has less than 300 people, but it has, 10 or more people, you should give them the business license so that it will be more helpful to their organization, and it contains the features that can be able to help them to work better, both remotely and even in situations where everyone is in the office. So now with the business licensing, I'll just go in depth a little bit to show you the tree of the structure that they have now. So with Microsoft 365 business licenses, we have the business basic, which I told you it has replaced the essential license. And for this one, it is just the same thing. It is just that some few features have been added to the solution, because as we all know, the Office license was just a license, but now the M365 is a complete solution that incorporates applications that are able to work to help you in your work environment. So this one is best for businesses that need Microsoft Teams and cloud storage. And in this license, desktop versions of Office apps are not included. So what do I mean by this? What I mean is that Office applications that are included are only available through the web. So this means that you cannot be able to install your Office applications in your computer. So that's very important, because sometimes you find that a customer asks for a license that they want to be able to install in their computer. And if that is the case, you're supposed to give them a license that will enable them to do that. So with the essentials, they are not able to do that. Okay, so let's continue with the Microsoft 365 apps for business. This license only includes Office apps and does not include services or emails. So it is best for businesses that need Office apps across device and cloud file storage. Business emails and Microsoft Teams are not included. So as you can see with this license, if you purchase it, your customer will not be able to access emails. So this is best for customers who already have an email license, or are already using maybe another license that can provide for them the latest emails, but it is not good for customers who need emails. Okay, so this one will only provide business applications. All right, so we proceed. The next license is Microsoft 365 Business Standard, which has replaced this one has replaced your Business Premium license. I hope you can still see my screen. So this one has replaced your business premium license. If you cannot see my screen, just kindly tell me so that I can be able to adjust that. Okay. So for this license, it is best for businesses that need office apps across devices plus business email. So this is just a combination of both the Microsoft 365 apps for business and the Microsoft M365 Business Basics, which was previously Business Plus Essentials. So this is just Business Premium for you. And then the last license that we have in this category is M365 Business, which includes, which is best for businesses that need everything, including business standard plus advanced cyber threat protection and device management. So this one includes all Office applications and services, which includes Exchange, OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, Intune, and Azure Information Protection. So this is like, it is the highest level of this license structure, and it contains everything, including security features and Intune. Okay. So now we've moved from the business category, and we are in the Microsoft 365 Enterprise category. So in this category, we have 3 licenses that are now there. The first one is M365 F3, and then we have M365 E3 and E5. So for this one, for F1, you should know that for F1, it's for first line workers. What I mean by first line workers is the people who are not in the office all the time, or are in the office very limited hours of the day. So these are maybe people who do deliveries, who are just out there the whole day, and they access the office maybe just 30 minutes or a very few very limited time. So in this time that we are all accessing, you know, our office, we are not going to the office, we are all at home. The F1 is a very good solution for small and medium enterprises or small and medium businesses, because it will enable everyone to access their emails, and they can be able to have web versions of Office applications. The limitation that F1 has is that it has very limited storage of 2 GB, which is very unrealistic if you're in a company that has maybe even 5 people, because the storage that will be used is quite a bit, and 2 GB is not enough for that. Okay, so that's the limitation with F1. So if you're going to give any customer F1, make sure that you know their needs, and you know that the storage that they require will be limited. Okay, so M365 E3, this one can be compared with the Business Premium, which was previously Office 365 Business Premium, and now it is Microsoft 365 Business Standard. So it has all Office applications and it has service included. The only big difference that is there between the Enterprise E3 and the Business Basic, Business Standard, is that with the business licenses, we have a cap of 300 users, but with the Enterprise license, we can have 300 and more users. It doesn't have a cap. So if you're going to a company that has maybe 350 or 301 and above, that's when you can be able to give the Enterprise solution. That's a major difference that maybe many people might not know. Why should I give Enterprise and it's more expensive, and I can see the Business Standard is the same as Enterprise? So that's the one big major difference. If you give Business to a customer who has more than 300 users, they will not be able to get all of them will not be able to get the license. So the next license you're going to look at is E5, and with E5 it contains all the properties for E3, but now you see that with E5 it has Power BI, and also it has advanced threat protection and security and collaborations tools. So that's the major difference with Power BI with Microsoft 365 E5. So I hope I'm audible to everyone. Okay. So I think we can go ahead. All right, so I think we can go ahead and continue. I hope you all can see my screen still, because I had a network issue just now. All right, so now, having looked at all the licenses, I would like us to go and look at it more closely so that we can see all the differences that have been there with Microsoft, and we can be able to analyze and see which is the best steps to take right now as a partner to advise your customer. Okay. So I'm just going to put up I hope you can be able to see. So we are just going to continue with this, and I'm going to show you practically what has been happening here. So let's go to let's go to the Microsoft 365 licenses, and I'll be able to show you practically the licensing structure. Okay, so as you can see here, it says if you're looking for Office 365, you're in the right place. Office 365 is now Microsoft 365. If you are already an Office 365 subscriber, you don't need to do anything to start enjoying M365. Okay, so now, as I said, for the home plans, they remain the same. And then when you come here to the business plans, you can be able to see the pricing is still the same. That is one of the major things that you should note as a partner. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, you can notice that the pricing is the same and the pricing has not changed. So these are the prices, and these are some of the features that are there in all the licenses. All right. So now you can also go and check out the enterprise licenses.
Can you explain the features in premium and business particularly, and what they will not get in standard?
Okay. So right here you can see for business premium, which was okay. For business premium, it's best for businesses that need office applications across the devices. And if you can see here, the only thing that you will get in Microsoft 365 Business Premium that is not there in Microsoft 365 Business Standard is, as I said, Intune and Azure Information Protection. So as you can see, for all of the other features that are there, they are the same. So the services you get, the OneDrive, Exchange, SharePoint, and Teams, you will still get in the standard, and you will still get in the premium. But only Intune, which is the device management application, which enables you to manage all your devices across their organization with only one admin, that is Intune. You will get that, and then you will get Azure Information Protection, which is a security feature that is not there in the business standard. So those are the only things that you will get additional that are not there in the business premium. Okay. All right. So I hope that was you understood the differences. And if you want to know more, as you can see, the email hosting has a 50 GB mailbox for all these licenses across board. And for the OneDrive, it's 1 TB. So if you want to know more about this, you can use this link. I will share it in the PPT that I'm using right now, and you can be able to come here and learn more and understand what is contained and what is not contained. So if you want to know more about the features and how these licenses and which on-prem licenses they work with the best, you can see here these plans work with 2019, Office 2019, Office 2016, and Office 2013. Previous versions of Office, such as 2010, may work with M365, but will reduce functionality. So it works best with the latest version of Office 2019 or 2016. Okay, so you can see it has a cap of 300 seats. So that's the major difference between this one and enterprise licenses. Okay, so I'm just going now to move on with my presentation, because when it comes to the licensing structure, you need to read a bit more by yourself so that you can understand each and everything that is contained, because the license structure is very broad. We have even licenses like Exchange Online, which come as a standalone license if your customer is not able to purchase a high-end license. So now we are just going to go ahead with the presentation, and we are going to go to the next category, which is how to work best remotely. Okay, so I hope you can see. So before we move on to that, I'm just going to answer a few questions that have been asked many times by our partners. So Office 365 plans are now Microsoft 365 Business Plan, new name, same great value, same price. We've gone through what licenses are there. And just to mention, so that there's no confusion, the Office 365 E3 plans are still available in the price list. So Microsoft is transitioning, but the Office 365 E3 plans are still available. So you can still get them if you need them as a partner, or your customer insists they want the Office 365. Okay. What happens to my data if I cancel a subscription? Your data is yours. So if you decide to cancel your Microsoft 365 subscription, you can download your data, for example, your email and documents on team sites, and save it to another location. you should save your data before you cancel. After you cancel the subscription data association with Microsoft, it lasts for 90 days in their system, and after 90 days it will be deleted permanently. So even after you cancel your license, the data, all your OneDrive and all that, it stays in the Microsoft system for 90 days. Okay. Why did you change the name from Office 365 to Microsoft 365? So we changed the name to be more reflective of the range of features and benefits in the subscription. 365 includes everything you know in Office, including best class Office apps, intelligent cloud services, and advanced security. So this means that they just changed the name so that it can better reflect the offering that they're trying to give to the partners. Okay. So I hope I've been clear on that. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the Q&A so that I can be able to answer you when I'm done with this. Okay. So after that session, we are going to go through how you as a partner, you can be able to accelerate your customer move to Teams for calling and meetings. So as we all know, I started off with the Office 365 and the M365 clarification and the licenses so that you may be able to know which ones contain Teams, which one do not contain Teams. And as you can see, most of the licensing incorporate and do contain Teams. Teams is a very important feature, especially in this time that we need to stay home and most of us are not going to the office. So it is a very powerful tool that enables you to work from home, document sharing, you can be able to conduct meetings, you can be able to have group discussions both internally in your company and externally, maybe with another partner company or with another customer. You can also be able to do video conferencing like what I'm doing now with a live event. So it enables you to just continue to work remotely without having too many stress factors or without needing to go to your office, without needing physical interactions with your team members or the people that you're going to conduct a training with. Resources. So I'm going to share with you in this presentation the partner resources that are going to help you in helping your customer to move to Teams faster. Okay. Okay. So Microsoft Teams is the hub for teamwork in Microsoft 365. So as you can see on your screen and in the image that we have, I just want you to go to the icons that are there. So the first one that looks like a bell is activity, and then we have chat, and then we have Teams, calendar, calls, and files. And one of the questions I get is that if maybe you're using Teams, are you able to set up maybe a call or a schedule, and will it integrate with your Outlook? So the answer is yes. For example, if you set a call and you set the call on your Outlook, there's an icon on the top there when you're setting up your meeting that will ask you, do you want it to be a Teams meeting? And once you say you want it to be a Teams meeting, it will incorporate and it will set a schedule which will be blocked on your calendar for that time, the same way that you used to do with Skype for Business. So it's the same thing. So that the answer is yes, you can be able to sync the two, your Outlook and Teams. Okay, and then we have chat and collaboration, we have apps and workflow, and I'll be going through one by one. Okay, so the next one is chat and collaboration, and as you can see, you can be able to talk to people in your organization, and in this chart, you can be able to have both private chats and you can have public chats. So what I mean by private chats is, for example, if a certain department of the organization, maybe, for example, the way we have the IT department and the finance department, the IT team can be able to form a private chat. And as you can see here, we have chat, files, and OneNote. So where there is files, you'll notice that that's where you can be able to do your sharing. So if I'm in the IT department and I have an IT group over there and we are chatting, I can be able to share all the documents that maybe are needed for a project, and anyone in that group can be able to access it. The people who are not in that group will not be able to access it if it is a private chat. But if it is a public chat, anyone in the public chat will be able to access the documents. Okay. So next, you can see this is apps and workflow, and this is very important because especially at this time that we are not able to access the office, and maybe you want a document signed, and the process entails many people, because for example, if you have a local purchase order, it needs first to go to the maybe inside salesperson who will be able to draft the contract and do all that. And then after they do that, they pass it on to a manager who is supposed to sign. And then after they do that, it goes to procurement and all those things. So with teams, if you have teams, you can be able to create a team that will have all these decision makers or all these people who are involved in that particular process, and have the document go through one person to the next person to the next person. You can be able to do all these processes, the signatures automatically. If there is something that needs to be removed, the person who is with the document at that moment will take it, remove what the clause needs to be removed, add the correct one, and then reshare the document. So it makes office processes very easier at a time where you're not able to meet with a person one-on-one or go to their office and tell them I need this and this. So this is a very important feature, and as you can see on my right, you have examples of what I'm saying right there. Okay. So the other important feature is that, as I said, you can be able to collaborate with both people inside and outside of your organization. So previously with Skype for Business, you could see that we had some issues with this, but now with Teams, you are enabled to talk to both people inside and outside your organization. How can you do this? So you can be able to add contacts. So the contacts that you're adding, even if it's outside the organization, you can still be able to talk to them, to create a group with them, to share documentation with them, and all these things. So that is possible. So do one-on-one and group chats. You can be able to co-author files and keep track of the conversation. You can be able to organize team projects by channel. Okay. Okay, I think that one is clear. So you can also be able to participate in interactive online meetings with video and chat. So as you know, even using this as an example, you can be able to have live events like this, and everyone who is attending the event can be able to collaborate, can be able to ask questions and do all these things. So you have a conversation with a colleague or customer, you can hold a meeting, you can hold a team update or brainstorming session. You can deliver a training workshop like the one I'm doing right now. So it makes it easier for everyone to have access to information. So you don't really have to send 1,000 mails about one issue or look for the right person to connect with. You can just create a team and do all these things in one chat box, instead of sending a mail to this person and then they send a mail to this person and no one knows what is happening. no one knows the flow. So it really enables you to have a really good flow of things, because with Teams you can be able to see what this person said if it was yesterday, and you won't have a lot of repetition asking the same thing or inquiring something or leaving out one person in the mail so they don't know what's happening. So it enables people to have a very good workflow of things. So connect with people using calling from anywhere. So this is also another feature. You can be able to have a call with anyone from anywhere. So connect with a colleague or contact with the click of a button. So instead of using your airtime, calling somebody who is in another country, you can be able to use Teams, and that will be sufficient, and you can be able to do that with video or voice. Okay, and you can also be able to share your screen and show them, okay, I'm having an issue with this and this, can you help me out? Or when I do this, as you said, it's not working, can you just take control and be able to show me how it's done? So it's very easy, even for people having technical issues, to connect with a technical resource, and they can be able to conduct a session, and they can be able to show them what to do. So this works the same as maybe any desk or all these things, but it's more convenient because it has, at the same time, you can be able to talk to them because it's a call. Okay. So the next topic we are going to go to is enabling remote work. Enabling remote work, we've talked about Microsoft Teams. We are going to talk a bit about the Office apps, and then secure remote access. Okay, so as you all know that we are in a very unique time, that we are not able to access our offices, we are not able to go out. Some of the countries are in complete lockdown, which makes it very, very hard for even big enterprises, but more so for the small enterprises to be able to function and to be able to be profitable. But one thing that is there is that with the IT infrastructure that Microsoft brings you, you can clearly see that it helps in making the work easier. And the one thing that people need to realize is that even in this time, there are still some activities that are going on, and there are some things that are needed more than we needed it when we were all able to work from the office or to have physical interactions. For example, let me give you an example of here in Kenya we have Jumia, which is an online shop, and I know in other countries you also have the same, maybe different name. Or I can use Amazon, which is global. So with Amazon, you can be able to shop for things, but at the back of your mind, you're supposed to realize there are some people who are in the on-prem, who are packing the products, who are now giving the products to maybe vans, maybe cyclists, who now go and deliver the products to the people who are at home. So if you look at all these are different processes in the same organization. So this person who is packing all these things, they need communication from the person who is in the office to tell them, okay, this customer bought this and this, and this and this should be packed in one place, this and this should be packed in one place. So Teams really, Office 365 and Teams and Microsoft has enabled all this, because even for the cyclist or the person who is delivering the item, they also need to be in communication with the office so that they can tell them, you know, this one has been delivered, now we are going here and here. So Microsoft has enabled this to be easier, because when communication is easier, at least there's a very good workflow of things, and these things will not be disrupted amidst all this confusion that is there and abnormal working environment. Okay, so how do we enable people to meet and collaborate from home? So one of the very important things that we need to know is that any company needs to keep employees productive even when working remotely, because at the end of the day, an organization needs to be profitable. So we have, as I was saying, different types of workers. We have information workers. So these are workers who provide a powerful meeting, collaboration, and workflow experience to those working from home. And then we have first line workers. These are the people that I'm talking about, like maybe delivery guys, mailmans, and all those. So connect workers to the rest of the organization with a digital tool for communication, collaboration, and shifts. Okay, because as we all know, maybe these people are working in shifts. So it provides a very good working environment to be able to do this. And then we have healthcare, who are the front line workers, as we know now. And we have schools and government, who need to continue working, because at the end of the day, school is still going on, and it's been powered by teams, and all these things. So even government needs to continue making decisions for the better environment of the people. So also they are very good candidates to receive Microsoft 365, so that they can be able to work efficiently. Okay, this one we had already gone through it. Okay, so this one only says automate workflows with low-code tools in Microsoft Teams. So when working remotely, paper processes are hard. Having visibility to activities across teams can be challenging. And then when working remotely, it's important to have aligned goals. So as I said, this makes it easier because of you can be able to share documentation, you can be able to edit documents, you can be able to get signatures on the same platform. Okay, so these are some of the materials that I was talking about. So once this is done, our marketing team will be able to share this presentation with you, so you can be able to know how to roll out Teams and drive adoption, because now we have the technical part of it, where you need to procure the license. After you procure it, you download Teams and you activate it and do syncing and all those things. So engage people with virtual events and communication. I think this one, I'm not going to repeat it because we went through it. Okay. So I'm just going to talk about how to make Office applications available to any device. So as you saw, what I was discussing earlier, I mentioned Intune, which is a device management tool. And also, you're supposed to know that with M365, you can be able to install it in up to 5 devices. So that depends on the license you purchase. Because if you purchase, for example, M365 Business Basic, you know that with that license, you can only be able to get web versions of Office applications. So these web versions, you can be able to install them on your phone. So you will not be able to install them on your machine. But if you purchase something like Business Premium or Business Standard, you can be able to install them to your machine. You can be able to install them to your laptop, maybe computer, phone, tablet, and all these things. So you can be able to have a connectivity between all these devices. So help your team stay productive, pick up where you left off, add, keep collaborating from anywhere, anytime. Okay, so even maybe a first line worker who only has a phone can be able to access emails, can be able to access Excel, can be able to access, because those are the things that are important to him. Maybe they want to do a calculation, so they can be able to do this. Maybe they want to write down something that happened, they can use OneNote. So these are available through phone as well. So stay connected to the best of Office 365, which is now M365, wherever you go. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. These are some of the material that I'll be sharing with you, so that you can be able to know how these things work practically and technically. Okay, so that is done. I know that it's kind of a lot of information all at once, but as we go on, you'll be able to realize which Office 365 you need for which customer. But now I'm going to go ahead and present now the practical aspect of it, which is now where Redington comes in. So we've talked about the Office 365 licenses. We've talked about how you can be able to know which customer needs what, but where does Redington come in all this, and where do we assist you to be able to deliver these licenses? Because it's one thing to know what to do, but how do you deliver these licenses? So I'm going to be sharing my screen and showing you our CloudQuarks portal. Okay. So at the moment, I hope you can see my screen. So after you've discovered what license you need, you come to Redington, and same thing as before, we the salespeople are going to guide you on what to do next. So number one, let me just mention, maybe for the partners who have not yet registered with Redington, or maybe you're a partner and you still have not registered as a CSP partner. So number one, when you come to us, we will ask you, are you a Redington partner? If you're not a Redington partner, you will come to this site, which is the Redington, which is the portal.redington.market site, and our portal is known as CloudQuarks. So it is a portal that enables you to have all your billings in one portal, and you can be able to manage your transaction. You can be able to get your invoices automatically. It has a lot of features that enable you to work easier and not to have a lot of clumped up information, not knowing maybe when is the renewal date of your license. So this enables you to have a lot of information in one site, okay, and only have one login that you can come and see all your Office 365 licenses that you've purchased, maybe your Exchange Online that you've purchased, maybe your Azure, maybe if you want to venture into Azure, maybe a backup solution, or all this, you can be able to control it through this portal. Okay, so I'm just going to go through it slowly. So here on top, you can see that we have a team known as help desk. So there's an email on top here, and as a partner, if you don't know what to do, or maybe you're not able to get in contact with your local sales team, you can just be able to click here, because this is available to the general. So if you just use this link, you'll get to this portal, and you can be able to use this email to ask them any question, and they'll be able to direct you back to us or assist you to move forward. So as you can see here, we have existing partner. Just a minute. So if you're an existing partner, there's a process that you need to go through. So you can see here, it tells you Redington account number, and then you can be able to select the country that you are in. So number one, you will give you a code, and then once you enter that code, maybe a code that looks like this. Once you enter that code, you say, I'm from Kenya, maybe, or Ghana, or anywhere. You search, you will fill out your information and create your username and password. And then after that, you'll be able to sign in. So that's the process for somebody who's not yet a CSP partner. If you're not registered, you'll need first to be registered as a Redington partner, and then we'll go through this process that I've just shown you. Okay, so once you register, the next step, you'll just come up here and sign in. And after you sign in, I'm going to just be using a demonstration account to show you. Okay. So as you can see with this account, on top here is the country. So with the CloudQuarks portal, we have different countries and different regions which have different tax laws. That is why with every country it's unique. So if you're maybe from Ghana, you'll see your country here. If you're from West Africa, the country that you're in will be unique to you. Okay, So as you can see, then we have here control panel. So this control panel enables you now to have control of your customer and also of your information. So where is this control panel? It's just right here. As you can see, home, my account, credit information, user management, vendor setup, and customer management, my orders, contracts, subscription management, renewal management, usage reports, pre-invoice and invoice and billing. So I'm going to go through each and every one of them and kindly just pay attention so that if you are looking to do this, you might be able to know what to do. So the first stage is home. And as you can see, it gives you a clear report of everything that is going on your portal. So with this, you'll never have any mishaps or any maybe order that you don't know what happened or who placed it or something like that. So you can see here the 6 and customers orders because this is a demo, no orders here, but if you have maybe 20 orders separately, you will see them here. Available credit. So let me explain what this means. Available credit means this is the amount of this is the value of orders that you can be able to place. So for example, if you have an order of $2,000, you will not be able to place it because as you can see, your available credit is $1,000. So we have a range of partners. Some partners are advanced partners. So that means that they will pay before they order. And then we have partners who maybe have been given a credit of maybe $500, $1,000 moving forward, forward even 50,000 and all that. So when you have an order, we need to talk to the credit team to establish if you have credit terms. If you don't have credit terms, you pay in advance. If you have credit terms, we use the credit terms to establish how much credit that you will get. So this can move. It can be 50,000, it can be 1,000, it can be 2,000. So it doesn't mean that this is free money that you can use. That's not what it means. Okay. All right. So payment dues. So this means that you've not paid Redington this amount of money, because as you know, with the channel, the customer pays the partner, and then the partner pays Redington, and then we pay Microsoft. So what payment dues means here is that this is the amount of money that the partner has not paid to Redington. Okay. And then we have expiring contracts. So as I said, this portal shows you what contracts you have and which ones are expiring, so that you never miss maybe a contract that was supposed to expire last month and you've forgotten about it. So it enables you to retain your customers. Okay. And then data usage, this one I'll talk about it later on when we talk about the Azure part. Okay. So now let's go to my account. Okay. So this is the place that you can be able to see the total outstanding, the amount that is not due yet but will become due maybe in a few days, and then the uncollected credits. Okay, so you will be able to see each and every one here, and you'll be able to go to the information and it will show you what exactly is not paid, as you can see. Okay, and it will show you the invoice number, the invoice date, and all this. Okay, so that's my account. Then credit information, as I said, this is the amount of money that you have, and this is the total value of the order that you can be able to place, but it can increase. Okay. Right now, let's go to user management. So with the user management, it's actually a very important and good feature, because we understand that maybe in your company you have different people who are there, and with this you can be able to select the person, because what user management means is that you can be able to add employees in your company, maybe the finance person, the sales manager, the account manager, people who will be accessing the portal. All these individuals will have unique credentials. So they will have a unique username and password. So for example, if we have the manager, he will have his own unique password. So when he comes in and does something, we know that this one was done by this particular person. So this is just a way to manage your own organization, because we know, at different times, maybe someone is not there and you need to do something. So you will contact another person who will be able to assist you in this. You can be able to have a maximum of 5 people added into this. And as you can see, you can choose account manager, first name, last name, email, the phone number, and then you can activate by saving. Okay. So this is the place where you can add your own internal resources to be able to access the portal and to do different tasks. For example, the finance may want to come in the portal only to download the invoices. Okay. So that's the purpose of that. And then now we go to vendor setup. So when you become a Microsoft partner, you acquire a Microsoft Partner Network ID, which is an MPN ID. So with this MPN ID, you can be able to transact either as a Office 365 or M365 partner, and also as an Azure partner. The reason that these two are separated is because, as you know, we have an admin portal for M365 and an admin portal for Azure. So there are two different admin portals for the customer, but it can have the same MPN ID, which we are calling here the vendor ID, or it can have different NPN IDs. So either or. The best thing is to have the same one, because it will be easier for you to know and to manage your MPN ID, because as you know, when you become a partner, Action Pack, Silver, or Gold, those are the 3 partnership levels. And when you're Action Pack, you pay an annual fee. When you're Silver, you do the same. And when you're Gold, you do the same. So if you have 2 different MPN IDs, it's much harder to manage than only having one, but it is possible. So when you enter the portal for the first time, I recommend that you go to this place as the first place, so you can add your MPN ID, because without the MPN ID, you will not be able to transact on the CloudQuarks portal. So that's very important. So as you can see right here, we have an X. So this means that because this is obviously a demo, it's not working. So even if you place an order right now, it will not go through. So when it is active, it should be a tick, a green tick. Okay. So that's vendor setup. So you just come here, select the brand. Right now it's selected, but it will bring Microsoft CSP or Microsoft Azure. And once it does that, you can be able to select Microsoft CSP, add the MPN ID, and add it to the Azure as well. Okay. So now we go to the next column, which is the end customer management. And here, as you can see, we've added the customers. So once you've added your MPN ID, how it works is that Microsoft connects to the partner via the MPN ID. Okay. And then the customer connects to the partner and to Microsoft via the tenant ID. Okay. Which is the domain name. So that's how it works. So this is the connection that we have, so that you as the partner, you can be able to purchase a product and it will not need a key like the old times. It will just go directly to the end customer portal. So that's how it works. So with this new system of having the CloudQuarks portal, it enables you just to procure the licenses and then send them directly to the customer without needing a key or any of these things. So that's the importance of it. Okay. So once you get here, you just add here, you add a customer. Okay. And as you can see, we have company information. So you just add this information here. And then the personal information, this is the personal information for the customer. So this is for the admin for the customer portal, for the Microsoft customer portal, or the IT person for the organization. This is their personal information. So once you've added this information here, it will come to this. Okay, so the next step, as I was saying, because Microsoft has to have that link, that connection. If that connection is broken, then the partner cannot be able to give the license or procure the license for the customer. So now what do we do in order to link up the customer now with Redington and link up the customer as well with the partner? So what we do here is that we click on the link button. There are three icons. We have the edit, the middle one is link, and the first one is activate. So when you click on link, it brings you to this page and you just select the brand like that. You say CSP, and then there are two options. So the first option, you can be able to create a test, an account for the customer. And when I say create an account for the customer, it means that you will create an end customer Microsoft account, not a Redington account, but a Microsoft account. So when you create a tenant here, it means that you have created a tenant, a Microsoft tenant. So you just create it like this, you give it a name, and then if it's available, you save it. So this one is already taken, please try a different name. So you just try out different names until you have the one that is available, and then you save it and it will create the tenants. And once the tenants are created, you can be able to purchase your license and the customer will access it from the portal, okay, from their own portal, okay, which is the Office 365 portal, okay, all right. So now, if the customer is already a Microsoft customer and they just maybe want a renewal, you will go to link existing. So there are two options. The first one is create new tenant, and the second one is link existing tenant. So if they do have, you just come here to link. Just a minute. Okay, let's just go back. Okay, so link. With link, it will ask you to find the tenant ID. So when you're doing this linking process, you need to put the .on Microsoft domain name. So this domain name can be found under in the customer portal under setup and then domains, and then you can be able to see the .on Microsoft domain name. It doesn't require the email domain name, but it requires the .on Microsoft domain name, and that's where it can be found. So when you're going through this process, you can ask maybe your sales representative to help you out, and they'll be able to help you out. Okay, so once they're linked, once the customer is linked, I'll show you how it looks like. So once the customer is linked, it looks like this. So as you can see here, both customer is linked for the Office account and for the Azure account. Okay, so this is how it looks like. And when that is done, it means that you're ready to place your order. Okay, so once you do that, you can be able to come here to all categories. And as you can see, we have different categories here. You can be able to go to your Microsoft 365 licenses here. And purchase the license that is required. So to purchase is simple. It's just like online shopping. You go to the cart. You say maybe I want an annual or monthly license, and then you maybe put the quantity there and then add to the cart. It's as simple as that. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more thing that is very unique with the Redington portal. So once you place your order like that, you see this place that is summary. So you have your total amount. You can be able to get a discount code from us according to the discussions that have been had by the person who is your regional manager, or you can be able to have the discount code here. So it's just a number that we have like that, and then you can apply it and then proceed to checkout. So once you proceed to checkout, it will show you the number of customers that are here, and you will select the one that you want to place the order for. Put your LPO number on the reference number, and then this is for the LPO number, and then after that you can be able to place your order. So that's the simple process of placing an order. Number one, your vendor setup MPN ID should be active. Number two, the customer should be linked to Redington, and then number three, if any, you should get the discount code. Don't place it without the discount code, because the discount code can only be applied before placing the order. It can't be applied after placing the order. And then number four, you just put your LPO number and place the order. So now that's it for the order process. As you can see here, the next place we have my orders. So after you've placed your order, the order will be approved and it will come here. So you can be able to search here using end customer name, order number, or order status. Okay, so the next place is contracts, which does basically the same job as my orders, but it just gives you more information about the order that you've placed. It will give you the invoice, it will give you everything, including the license purchased, the number, when it was purchased, and all these things. So it just gives you a little bit more information on the order. Okay, so there we go. So it can give you more information, contract ID, and all these things. Okay, you can be able to see it here. The next place is subscription management, and we are almost done. So with the subscription management, it's a very key and important segment, because as we were discussing, I told you that with the portal you can be able to manage your customer. So with this site, you can be able to see the licenses that you purchased for the customer. You can be able to add a license or remove a license. What do I mean? For example, if you had bought 50 licenses, business, you had bought 50 licenses, maybe exchange online, and you notice that maybe the customer didn't want 50, they wanted 40. You can be able to edit the quantity. But of course, because you know this is a subscription, and maybe if it has been consumed for maybe 5 days, the portal will automatically show the consumption rate, and then you will pay for only that period. Okay, so for example, if you had purchased 50 and that was $1,000, and they wanted 40, which is 800, the 100 and something dollars will not be consumed, because you will be able to automatically cancel the licenses that are not needed. So unlike previously, where you used to buy a license and it's $10,000, and if it's the wrong license or if it's the wrong quantity, you will just have to stay with it. Okay, so or purchase another license if it's the wrong license, so you will go a loss of the entire amount. with CloudQuarks, you can be able to reduce the loss and purchase only what you need. Or if you want to add, you can be able to automatically add in a second, and it will not cost you anything. Okay, so also another feature that we have under this is that you can be able to either suspend or terminate the licenses that are there for the customers who have not paid. So with the suspension aspect of it, that is a process. You need to maybe send an email to the team and they will be able to communicate and suspend the license. With suspension, what you need to know is that if you suspend a license, the subscription with Microsoft still continues. So the customer is still billed on the license. So suspension is very risky if the customer maybe says, no, we were not using it for this time. Okay, so that's suspension. But with the termination, once you terminate, the license will no longer be billed and it will not be available. So you'll just pay until the date that it was cancelled. So this is one of the very good features that is there that can help the partner be able to control their customers, terminate the licenses that are not being used so that you don't go and get a loss for the entire period that you had purchased the licenses for. Okay. So that is subscription management, and as you can see, you can be able to download and see what you have under this column. And then we have renewal management. So under renewal management, this is a feature that was introduced not so long ago, and it helps the partner to be able to know which enables the partner to know which orders are coming up for renewal. So for example, if we had an order last year and this year it's coming up for renewal, you can be able to see it here. So the portal will automatically give you reminders, because of obviously as a human you forget. So it's very important because it gives you reminders, tells you these licenses are expiring in the next 90 days. You need to talk maybe to your customer and find out if they want to renew the licenses. So once it's here, you can be able to prevent it from expiring through just saying, okay, once the license is maybe expiring and it's 90 days, you'll see the number of days here. And the number of days as they decrease, the portal will send you reminders. And maybe when it's 5 days or something, it will be red over here. Okay, and once it's here, if you want to renew, you'll just click a button that is right here, will come right here, that is written renew. So once you click renew, it goes here to pending. When it's pending, it's approved by your account manager. And then once it's approved, you can be able to click on renew. At this stage, if the customer says they do not still want to renew, you can cancel it from here so that you don't renew a contract that the customer does not want to renew. So that is very important for you to know. So this eliminated the process where the customer, we had an auto renewal process, and I believe this is a very good feature incorporated in the CloudQuarks, because with other disties, you know, it's auto renew, and when it's auto renewed, you don't even maybe know that it was getting renewed, and you start asking, why am I getting these billings and I had not approved? So with Redington, it's very comfortable. That is not what happens. What happens is that it has reminders, and if you want to renew, you have the capability to say yes or no, you don't want to renew. Okay, so once it comes to the renewing stage, still you can be able to cancel at this stage if the customer does not want. But when it comes to this stage, it automatically renews itself. Okay, yeah. So after that, we just go to pre-invoice and billing. So here you can be able to see and download an Excel report of every invoice that is coming up. Okay, so before you get the invoice, the PDF invoice, you can be able to download the report of your invoices that are coming up and stay aware of what you need to pay at what date. Okay, so once the invoice comes in, you can be able to download it from here as a PDF. So the process of the salesperson sending you the invoice is eliminated here, because you can be able to download your own invoice, and the invoice normally comes very early, so you can be able to have time to plan for the payment. Okay, so one more feature I'm going to discuss is the usage reports. So this feature is here for Azure, and for Azure, as you know, the portal is separate in the end customer, and also the partner portal is the same. You can be able to manage it from the MPN partner portal, but the customer portal is separate. So when you're placing an Azure order, I've gotten a lot of questions of how this works and all these things. So when you're placing an Azure order, first of all, you need to know you have 3 options. Number 1 is pay as you go. So you can be able to place an order with a commit of an amount that will be used pay as you go. You know, you don't have a certain, the customer has not given you a certain amount that they want. Okay, so if this is the case, you just need to, number 1, when you're placing an Azure order, you need to know what does the customer want. Number 2, how much do they want to spend, so their budget. So if you know these things, don't just send to the salesperson, you know, my customer wants Azure. Azure is not a product, it's a very broad range of solutions that are there in Azure. So number 1, we send you an Azure questionnaire, which the customer can fill. After they fill, we know what they need. After we know what they need, our team gets a quote for them. So once the quote is done, at least now we know an amount that the customer wants to spend on the particular solution that they have. So once we know this, we can be able to set an amount on this portal so that it can manage the amount that is being spent per month or per year. So the first thing is pay as you go, which will be monthly expenditure by the customer. The next one is an annual commit, where the customer says, maybe we want a $10,000 commit, and after that we don't want to spend any more than 10,000. So that's an annual commit. And then number 3 is a reserved instance, which is for the customers who already know how their environment is and what they need, so they can be able to reserve it for 1 year or 3 years. Okay, so once we've given you the Azure questionnaire, you filled it, we've quoted, and now we have a number in mind that the customer wants to spend. We come to the CloudQuarks portal, and then we go to public cloud right here. As you can see here, we have the Azure Cloud Solution Provider. So another thing is that, as you know, with Microsoft, you have 2 ways of transacting. You can go through Microsoft directly using your credit card or something like that, or you can go through the Cloud Solution Provider program, which is now through the channel, which is through Redington. So that is why this is the Azure Cloud Solution Provider Azure portal. So once you purchase this for your particular customer, as you can see here in the cart, we have it here. So once you purchase it, you'll just go the normal purchase process. You'll proceed to checkout, and then you'll choose the customer that you want to purchase it for. So once you do this, your customer now will be in the Azure Cloud Solution Provider program. So they can be able now to access the portal via the end customer Azure Cloud Solution Provider portal. So once they do that, you come here to the control panel and then you go to the usage reports where I was talking about. So once you've already done this purchase, your customer will appear here. Okay. So once your customer appears here, this now is the place where you can be able to assign a credit limit for them. So the same way Microsoft assigns a credit limit when you maybe purchase with a credit card that you want $100 in your credit, that they assign that limit for you. That's the same way with the Redington. It will assign, maybe you've said you want 1,000, right? So it will assign 1,000 USD in your Azure Cloud Solution Provider portal so that you can be able to use that 1,000. One thing though I should say is that still the partner is the global admin. So the partner is able to go to their own portal and restrict the usage above the 1,000. But what Redington does is that it gives you the credit for this. So once it gives you the credit for this, the customer can be able to use it to purchase maybe whatever they wanted in the LPO. If they wanted storage, they can go ahead and access that and do all those things. So that's what the portal enables. And once this is done, the portal gives you a clear report of what was used every month. Okay. So if they used a virtual machine, it will show how many they used, the storage they used. If they used the disk, it will show how many they used and the amount of money that all these products were purchased at. So Redington gives you an analytics tool that can be able to show you what is being used. It gives you a graph, a pie chart representation of how it looks like. So you can be able to manage your customer usage. But you as a partner, you're supposed to go to your partner portal and limit the credit that can be used. Because even if you set 1,000 in the Redington portal, in the Redington Cloud Quarks portal, the customer still can be able to use more than 1,000. So you need to make sure that you manage the usage on the Microsoft Partner Network portal. Okay. So at that point, I think everything about the portal has been said. One more thing, you can search the licenses also through here, if you don't want to go the long route of searching it through here. So as you can see, the licenses are in the portal and you can be able to access them very, very easily. So that's the end of my presentation. I think I've covered all of the things. And at this point, if you have any questions, you can be able to ask me and I'll answer them. So Harry, you can just say a few words. I'm already done with the presentation.
Thank you, Susan, for your wonderful presentation on Microsoft. And thank you guys for attending this session, today's Microsoft session. And thank you guys. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. If you have any question, let me know.